Wow. I cannot believe I timed this perfectly with the ending of the Task Wanted playthrough. But exactly 1 year ago, the RetroAchievements website announced achievement sets for the Nintendo GameCube. And I was very excited when this happened. As someone who didn't own or experience some of the best GameCube games, outside of certain re-releases like the new Play Control games, Mario Sunshine with 3D All-Stars, and of course the Prime Trilogy, my beloved, I decided to jump on the GCN release hype train by playing on my totally legit GameCube with my totally legit GameCube games that I totally legitly own, not by emulation. I don't know what you're talking about. And the first set that I tried to master was Luigi's Mansion. Why Luigi's Mansion and not something like, I don't know, Mario Sunshine or Mario Party or Metroid Prime?
That's a good question.
And after mastering the game by playing through the whole game around 5 times, I wish I was kidding, but yes, that's actually true, outside of some aspects that are exclusive to the 3DS remake that I do prefer over the original, this game is still amazing, and surprisingly, it still holds up to this day, and it is to this day my absolute favorite game of the Luigi's Mansion trilogy. So, to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of GameCube sets being introduced to RetroAchievements, I thought it would be fitting to remaster my very first GameCube set once again. Welcome back to a new episode of RetroAchievements Masteries. Today, I'll be gaining all 49 achievements in Luigi's Mansion for the Nintendo GameCube. And similar to Crash Bandicoot, which will also apply to future episodes, I'll be getting every single achievement while playing in hardcore mode, a special mode that disables specific emulator features like loading save states, rewind, slowdown, and emulator cheats. Plus, playing on hardcore mode is the only way to truly master an achievement set, so no cheating in this house. And as a self-challenge, I'll try to master this set by playing through the entire game a total of 2 times. The reason being is that we need to get 2 different endings that require us to essentially play the game in 2 very different ways. That said, I do have some objectives in mind to make the second playthrough less stressful and more straightforward, but also to make the first playthrough more interesting and entertaining. Aside from the 15 progression achievements which we can get by playing through the game normally, I will also try to aim for 12 miscellaneous achievements, which include some easy ones like warping to the foyer using a mirror, or more difficult challenges like trying to freeze 10 or more boos at the same time during the Boolossus fight with an ice projectile. However, the one miscellaneous achievement I'll aim for primarily in this first playthrough will be the Penniless Plumber achievement, which requires you to beat the game with less than 5 million gold. Or in other words, have the mansion transform into its ultimate life form that will surpass all other mansions. Attempt. And this achievement can be very difficult because you essentially have to do a no money run, since picking up any type of currency, whether it's coins, bills, gold bars, or the many types of jewelry that you can find in this Boston building, will impact your final score in a bad way. And during my second run, I'll be getting the rest of the achievements while playing through the pseudo New Game Plus mode known as the Hidden Mansion. But with those objectives established, let's begin our quest for mastery in Luigi's Mansion. Our spooky adventure begins with Luigi arriving at his mansion that he mysteriously won at a contest that he didn't even enter. If only stuff like this happened without being scams. And once inside, we see that this place looks a little off. Not to mention that Nintendo basically created with this game the Luigi wins by doing absolutely nothing meme before it was even popular. But after trying to open some doors and witnessing a mysterious floating blob drop a key, ignoring every horror movie trope in existence, we decide to follow it and encounter a spooky orange ghost, which will most likely possess Luigi until the end of time. Thankfully, our knight in shining lab coat comes to the rescue as we get introduced to Professor Elvin Gadd, who's been a paranormal researcher living in an underground shack since he was a lad of 20 or so. And to make matters worse, he not only mentions that this mansion appeared a few days ago, confirming that this was indeed a scam, only this time it was by ghosts, which I didn't even know was even possible, but he also mentions that a guy who tried to copy our fashion style went into the mansion and never returned. So, after hearing all of this information, we say goodbye to EGAD and we decide to be the better man and leave this valley without ever looking back and start a new life in the big city. Except that Luigi's determination is strong, not to mention that the Red Luigi cosplayer happens to be his not-so-popular brother Mario. So, with EGAD willing to help us, we begin our training on the way of the vacuum. And thus we got this explanation screen where we can learn the controls of this game, as well as change your type of movement, those being standard movement or sidestep, which works very similarly to the targeting in 3D Zelda. However, the most important aspect about this screen is that if we sit on this screen for 2.5 minutes, we get to hear Tataka's song and claim our very first achievement, Musical Madness. After checking this fun Easter egg, we begin our training with the Poltergust 3000. And because we are the greatest Ghostbuster clone there is, we start our training by disappointing EGAD by not catching a single ghost. However, that doesn't seem to be enough for him, so instead we go back in and get dragged like a turd in the wind by a simple ghost until we drop dead. And then we become a ghost wrangling master by catching a whopping 0 ghosts, so we can get a long way to mastery. And after that amazing display of my abilities, we tell EGAD that we have one more surprise for him and go once again to the training room. This time we activate our God Gamer mode and suck every ghost the professor throws at us. And once we get 10 of them, we make our teacher proud and become a ghost busting expert. And with that, we are done with our training and ready to experience the real deal by telling EGAD we are ready to go inside the spooky mansion. And once inside, we find our good friend Toad, who will become a valuable asset during our second playthrough, since by the power of Mystic Force, no, not that Mystic Force, he will allow you to save your game. So we make him a happy boy so that he can light up the room for some reason, and we save our game so we can truly begin our adventure. So for this video, I'm not going to go into too much detail about every possible room in the mansion, since it would be a very boring way of going through this mastery process. So similar to what I did with Crash, I'll mention times where we can get achievements, but also comment on specific rooms that are worth talking about. That being said, because we're also doing a tent run for this first playthrough, we can just skip almost every aspect of exploration to the point that we don't even need to explore every room in this mansion. Although, we do have to explore enough so that we can access the final boss, but more on that later. With that established, we can just play through Area 1 normally, with the exception that we have to avoid money like the plague. So no inspecting items and no capturing speedy spirits or golden mice. But once we clear out the wardrobe room and collect the key to the hole in the foyer in the second floor, we can inspect this mirror with our Game Boy Horror camera, and by the powers of paranormal mumbo jumbo, we get teleported back to the foyer and get Mansion Express. A quick chat with Elvin later, and we access the study to confront our first portrait ghost, Neville. And this is where the tent run truly begins. Now you may have noticed that I did pick up some coins before and after entering the hallway in the second floor. And the reason I'm not panicking is because you can actually lose coins if you take damage in any capacity, which makes coins not that big of a threat when collecting money by complete accident. However, this will only apply to coins, since bills, gold bars, pearls, and the mini gems will not be dropped off if you take damage in any capacity. So once we enter the study, we take a shot at Neville and be very careful to drain his health while not collecting the pearls that he drops. If you want my biggest advice for avoiding collecting the pearls by complete accident, if the room is too crowded or the pearls are getting close to you, let go of the ghost. You do not need to capture the portrait ghosts in one cycle. And when dealing with specific ghosts, like Biff Atlas or Sir Weston, they can lead you into a pearl by complete accident, causing you to, in the worst case scenario, reset the game. So after we capture Neville, we move on to the master bedroom to capture Lydia. What was I gonna say? Unlike the NTS... Oh wait, okay, hang on, let me focus. Damn it. And after a failed attempt by not hearing my own goddamn advice because I'm stupid like that, we go again. This time having an easier time with the ghosts and attempting some stupid moves in the process. What am I doing? Okay, there we go. No, don't get on top of me. There we go. That's what it should have happened. Okay. But after having a victory with Lydia, we go into the nursery and commit some child abuse to a dead baby and get punished by our actions as Chauncey shrinks us down where we fight our first major boss. Chauncey himself is really not that hard, just make sure to always keep moving. And during his enraged phase when he goes below 50 HP, stay in the middle to avoid both rocking horses during the third hit. But once we avoid horses and throw balls at a baby's face, we capture Chauncey, collect the heart key and, freaky baby, so we can finish Area 1. Beginning Area 2, we go through the heart door and have a very interesting encounter. What are we doing now? Oh, we're gonna... Are you serious? I get the 20% on my first try. Oh my god. And after receiving a terrible omen for things to come, and having EGAD makes us waste some valuable health by doing the cardinal sin of talking to us. And yay, we get tutorial for stuff we didn't have to face in the thing. And oh my god, the hearts just despawn. I hate you, EGAD. We make our way to the ballroom to confront the floating Werlindas in a very interesting combat. I'll get in the corner. Don't grab the pearl. Ah! Okay. Oh man, that was awesome. And after we clear them out, we clear out the storage room and press a not suspicious looking button that will lead to no bad consequences whatsoever. Now, even though we made an oopsie, there is a silver lining. EGAD tells you that boos grow in strength when they travel in numbers, so he suggests reducing the number of boos by capturing them so that their power may decrease and have a chance to rescue our brother. So once we return to the mansion, we go and investigate the already lit rooms so that we can find some boos to add to our collection thanks to this new feature in the Game Boy horror, the Boo Radar, where it glows red when you have a boo getting close to you. And this is a very important task you need to keep in mind, because in order to rescue Mario, you need to capture at least 45 boos to access the final boss. Now you may be thinking, and probably type it in the comments right now, John, what are you talking about? You don't need 45 boos. You only need to get 40 to finish the game. And yes, you are correct. You only need to get 40 boos to finish the game if you're playing the NTSC version. And this is the point where I can finally reveal that I'm mastering this game while playing through the European PAL version. And the reason why I'm doing so is mainly due to three key aspects. Number one, the final boo requirement is higher. Number two, it has a tougher version of the New Game Plus mode, Hidden Mansion, which you have to play in order to get the best possible ending since the money requirement is higher and can't be reached on the normal mansion. And three, you can only master Luigi's Mansion on RetroAchievements by playing through the PAL version. So, if you think you can master this game while playing the American version, too bad, so sad. Get the PAL version. So now that we established that, we re-explore Area 1 for some boos and have a jump scare with every adult's worst nightmare, bills. Unless it's an old game that I don't remember. Oh my god! Go through the wall. Okay. Oh my god, that was actually scary. But as we explore, we can capture a total of 6 boos in Area 1. But once we capture our 5th boo, we not only get boosting the confidence, but we also get instructed by Professor to remove a key stuck in a toilet thanks to Toad. And from this point, it's just a normal playthrough through the game, but avoiding money as much as we can, with almost nothing interesting in between. Now, we of course do get some progression achievements by getting the fire medal in the mirror room. Here we get... burn it all down. Mario's hat in the laundry room. Open the washing machine. And we get squeaky clean. Mario's hat. And the water medal in the kitchen. There is an achievement that is such a pain in the ass to get. Alright, here we go. The new Godma. But besides that, it's basically a straight path to the end, which it's almost boring to some extent. Although, I will say that while capturing Shivers, I did have a close encounter with money that almost made me reset the game. No, don't get the sapphire. and also play a game of chance with Melody's key. Hump the chest. No! What the hell am I doing? Now I'm gonna wait. Oh my god, don't get the pearl. I swear to god, if you get the pearl, I'm gonna flip off. Oh! Oh my god, that was awesome. And I also made the decision to skip Mr. Lux since he takes a while to get. Not to mention that he is an optional fight, which allows us to continue into the kitchen no problem. That said, I did run into a problem with Spooky because this happened. I didn't say with EGAD. Oh my god. Okay. I'm going to see how much this pearl is worth. And if it's... Oh my god. Stop getting the pearls, Luigi. Don't make me call you Green Mario, goddammit. Now, thankfully, like I said, there is some leeway on the amount of money you can get. So I decided to move on to the boss of Area 2, Bogmire, the literal incarnation of the mansion's fear and despair. Bogmire is a very interesting fight, especially considering that there is an achievement where you need to capture this shadow in one cycle. However, doing so in the normal mansion is, for the most part, practically impossible. Not to mention that we will have an easier time getting this achievement during our Hidden Mansion playthrough. But for now, let's collect our club key and finish Area 2 with Glow Up. So now we begin Area 3 in the courtyard, and as we clear up the yard, we do get a letter that was stuffed into a birdhouse, as well as...
You've got mail!
But as we clear out the courtyard, we also hear someone or something just making noise from the bottom of the well. And as we go down to shut this noise up, we emerge from a Leon's head, and we see this. Get me out of here! Oh my god, Mario can actually talk? I don't believe it. And he's not voiced by Chris Pratt? I also don't believe it. Why are you laughing at, punk? After confirming where our brother is located, we take care of a prankster ghost and head into the gym room where we encounter one of the hardest portrait ghosts in the game, Biff Atlas. Thankfully, Biff is optional. However, because we need 45 boos, I decided to capture him as well. Although he is not as time-wasting as Mr. Lux. But you know, I don't think I'm strong enough to actually beat Biff yet. So instead, we get our cardio on the treadmill to not only collect a secret optional key, but also get the key to fitness, which might be enough to defeat this beefy boy. And once we defeat Biff, we just find ourselves in a situation similar to Area 2, where we just go and collect the rest of Mario's dropped items, the first one being Mario's Star, which we can get in the observatory by blowing up the moon, as you always do, with a very sick shot. Alright, can we do this first try? Let's see. I did it first try in the Let's Play, so let's see. It's so easy, guys. It's so easy. I mean, you still move relatively fast, but it would be a very, very slow and boring 360. The gold inside the moon. So yeah, we didn't completely blow up the moon. We blew half of the moon. And after that, we backtrack to the tea room where we can get our first missable achievement, which you can get by capturing a ghost while upside down. This achievement can be only done in 2 rooms in the entire mansion, those being the tea room and the cellar in the basement, since they have these symbols that will make you walk on the ceiling and vice versa. So in the tea room, we capture one of these grabber ghosts and get inversion exertion. Also, even though the room is upside down, capturing Sue P in the guest bedroom doesn't count for this achievement. Luigi needs to be walking on the ceiling for this one. Once we clear the tea room, we can acquire our final elemental medal, the ice medal, giving us dinner is served cold today, and a new way to cheese the booze. So, if we look at the set, you may see this achievement where you need to use a certain element on a boo to capture it faster. And this is the part where I can explain about a very easy way to capture boo boost in this game, which is going to be very important later down the road. Normally, when capturing boost, the idea is to be in a perfect range for the Poltergust to reduce the HP of the boo and hope and pray that this little bugger doesn't run away to another room. However, there is a very easy way to lock a boo in place where you not only can deal a lot of damage to the boo, but also capture it faster. What you want to do is you want to hold L and R at the same time. Doing so will make you suck up with a Poltergust. Then what you want to do is let go of R and then hold it again almost immediately. However, you want to release and hold R in a timely manner. What I personally do is drain about 10 to 12 of the boo's HP and then release R for half a second before I hold it again. And the best part about this trick is that you can use it even if you don't have an element on your vacuum. However, now that we have the ice metal, we can make this technique even easier. Since with ice, we can actually freeze the boo, giving us more time to capture the boo, which, like I said, is going to be important later down the road. That said, the one problem about stun locking boos is that eventually they will break free and will just not obey the stun lock until you resume catching them in another room. And because we can now use ice to speed up the process, we can also get the achievement Burning to See Them Like That. So now that we found a more powerful way to deal with boos, we continue our exploration through Area 3, collecting more keys and capturing Poltergust. But the most important step right now is to claim the 2 remaining dropped items from Mario. The first one being Mario's shoe, which we can get in the twins room, a room that, little did I know, was going to become my absolute breaking point. And Mario's glove, which we can claim in the projector room, which is the first room where we can actually get the Mr. Heart Thief achievement by capturing 3 ghosts at the same time. However, there is a much easier way of getting this achievement, which we'll see later. Not to mention that this game, unsurprisingly, has a bit of jank. I knew it. So once we claim all of Red Luigi's dropped items, we can deliver them to Madame Clairvoyant, where she will tell us about the whereabouts of our brother, even though we already know the answer. But also, in a very interesting way, in a sort of twist, we get confirmation that King Boo is somehow trying to resurrect Bowser, which basically implies that in this continuity, Bowser is fucking dead. Now yes, we do kill him, sort of, every time we encounter him in other games, and I might be reading too hard into this, but goddamn son. Anyway, we capture Clairvoyant after her powers abandon her, and we get the key to the final room before the boss, the Safari Room, which didn't become infamous due to a YouTuber sharing some unknown information that apparently was false all along, so people went on overly long rabbit holes to find answers. Man, the internet is such a wonderful place. Once we clear out the room, we head over to the balcony and face off against the boss of Area 3, Boolossus. Also, as a side note, I recently discovered that you can't fight Boolossus unless you capture 20 boos, which I never knew that was actually a thing. Boolossus is a very interesting fight because this fight for many is either very easy or very hard. I myself put it in the middle, although I will say that capturing the final boos can and is very annoying sometimes. However, we can make this fight a breeze by getting the Boolossus boss achievement by freezing 10 or more boos with a single ice ball. The easiest way to do this is popping Boolossus normally, then grabbing some ice and then run to the opposite unicorn statue. Then slightly tap L, do not hold it, just slightly hold it until you see ice come out of the Poltergust. And when you see a boo on screen, immediately press L all the way to shoot an ice ball. And with a little bit of positioning and some bit of luck, we will freeze more than 10 boos and get the bulk of you to bowl up like that. And after running around in circles for a bit, we freeze the last boo, defeat Boolossus, and claim the diamond key as well as ice creams, finishing Area 3. And with that, we begin the final area of the game, Area 4. And just like the other areas, there is not a lot to talk about, especially considering that you can basically skip a lot of portion of Area 4 since there's a lot of optional fights and optional rooms. However, there are some achievements we can claim while in this area. At the start of Area 4, right outside the diamond door, we will begin what is known as the blackout section, where the power of the mansion will go out and ghosts will roam freely throughout the entire mansion. And to make matters worse, we cannot save the game until we restore the power in the breaker room, which unfortunately has been locked by a new portrait ghost. However, instead of looking for this ghost, we will continue on to the next room in Area 4, the telephone room, where we can get some phone calls from Toad and EGAT, as well as a bug regarding the lighting engine, which lead to a lot of people theorizing about the dark meanings of Luigi's mansion. Seriously, people read too much into stuff, I swear to God. But the call from EGAT is very important because he will inform you about a portrait ghost called Uncle Grimly and how to find him. However, as soon as you end his phone call, you will get ambushed by some ghosts. But once we defeat them all, we will have a new objective in mind, as well as the telephone crank achievement. So as we search for Uncle Grimly, if we go to the parlor, we can get a very easy achievement known as the Mr. Heart Thief by getting 3 ghosts at the same time in one suction. And the parlor is one of the 3 rooms, which is very easy to get. Now, yes, you can get it in other rooms during the blackout, but the parlor, and especially a particular boss ghost, is much more easier to get this achievement. However, if you're lucky enough to get in the parlor, we will get the Mr. Heart Thief achievement, no problem. But just to mention that there are other opportunities where you can get this achievement. After that, we find Grimly in the wardrobe room, go to the breaker room, and restore power back to the mansion. And now we play a game of back and forward as we need to go all the way to the 3rd floor, only to go back to the basement, and then go back again to the 3rd floor so that we can head to the basement one last time to beat the game. Yeah, let's just say that Area 4 is not one of my favorite areas in the game. And as we clear out the 3rd floor, this is the time where we can also get one of the most annoying achievements in the game. The Absolutely Beautiful achievement asks you to deal at least 150 or more HP to a Boo and capture it before he can escape to another room. The best way to get this achievement is to engage with a Boo that has either exactly 150 health, or fight a Boo with 200 or 300 health and dwindle its HP close to 150. Also, ice is almost a requirement to get this achievement. In the normal mansion, there are a total of 8 Boos that have 150 or more HP, and I would recommend you get this achievement during the normal mansion, since Boos in the hidden mansion can be a bit more sporadic with their behavior, making them more annoying to capture even casually. So after we clear out the entire 3rd floor, we give it a shot and... Damn it. I tried to let it go at 150, but god damn it. Well, as expected, I got really unlucky. But I never imagined that I would get screwed by my now mortal nemesis, furniture. I swear to God, if he goes away with 1 HP, I'm gonna fucking flip. I wish I had a face cam so you could see my fucking face right now. Oh my god, I can't believe that happened. He would have been at 1 HP. You gotta be fucking serious. You cannot be serious. I hate this game. This game sucks. So after that devastating defeat, I decided to move to the basement and clear out all the rooms, as well as fight my new least favorite portrait ghost, Sir Weston. And once I had the key to the final room in the mansion before King Boo, I went on a Boo chasing hunt trying to get this achievement, and then this happened. Gotcha, motherfucker! Yes! Absolutely beautiful. Or absolutely beautiful. Yes, we got it. Oh, thank God. I'll be honest, I thought I was going to struggle with this achievement, but just like Crash Bandicoot, little did I know that this game would essentially throw its ugly face at me in the future with an achievement that, I'll be completely honest, wasn't that bad when I first mastered this game last year. So with the absolutely beautiful achievement in hand and our 45th Boo in our possession, very convenient, we go back to the 3rd floor one last time to face off against the final portrait ghost, Vincent Van Gogh. In this fight, we have to defeat almost every normal ghost we've encountered throughout the game, the only exception being the different color variants of the Shy Guy, Grabber Ghosts, and Ceiling Surprises, as well as the elemental variants of the Golden Ghosts, Purple Punchers, and Blue Twirlers. And also, if it wasn't obvious, this is the room where I would recommend you get the Mr. Heart Thief achievement, since you have multiple opportunities to get the achievement. And after we defeat Van Gogh's final creations and deal with the artist himself, we claim the Spade Key as well as the Final Laugh and go all the way back to the basement to confront King Boo and save our bro. And I'm just gonna say this right now, the final boss in this game is by far the best final boss of the trilogy. We got this intense fire background, and as we got to fight Bowser atop the mansion, and we get to decapitate the bastard. That said, good lord, I got destroyed. Oh my god. It's a giant turtle. Or if I was a kid, it's a giant dragon. Because yeah, I thought Bowser was a dragon because he breathes fire. I know, shut up. I mean, hell, in my head, if it breathes fire, then it's a dragon. You know, that was my mentality back when I was a kid. No. Don't vacuum, that's my job. Alright. Oh my god, why are you so close? Also, I love this song. I started to listen to it more and more, and yeah, it started to grow on me. Oh, what? What happened? Did it hit the pillar? Oh my god. That is so stupid. Or maybe it hit the other bomb. I shot King Boo. I'm shooting nothing. That's awesome. Oh, wait. Ah! Ah! I don't remember you doing this. Uh-oh. Oh, I can move in the cutscene? I did not know that. Oh, man, that was awesome. Okay, wait. I don't want to go too far because... Oh, my God. I got trapped. You gotta be kidding me. Man, I'm getting my ass kicked by this guy. Wow. That's the first time I'm ever getting, like, handed to me by Bowser. Why didn't you grab the bomb? Oh my god. Am I seriously gonna die on the final boss? And that's game, baby. Crowned the victor in 1 hour and 48 minutes. Oh my god. Good lord, man. I think that's the first time ever since my first playthrough where I got like completely destroyed by Bowser. Holy crap, that was something. My goodness. And unfortunately, we do get spoiled by getting the Penniless Plumber achievement before we even get to see the money total screen. But that does it. We beat King Boo, we saved our brother, and now Luigi gets to live the rest of his days in a top tier tent that he got with his own money. Now, before we begin our second run of the game, there is one more thing I wanted to cover during my first session with this game, and that is to get the Mario is Missing Speedrun achievement. To claim this achievement, all you need to do is collect the heart key after defeating Chauncey in less than 7 minutes while playing through the Hidden Mansion. I'll go into more details about the Hidden Mansion when we get to the second run, but this achievement is honestly not that difficult. I will say that the hardest part of this challenge is everything before Neville, since the portrait ghosts are a piece of cake to get, especially when a key feature about the Hidden Mansion is that your Poltergust is 1.5 times more powerful and can suck up ghosts quicker. In fact, okay, now there is another achievement related to these guys, where you basically need to suck these boss ghosts in less than 5 seconds. And we got it, nice. Boston makes me feel So after catching both Neville and Lydia, it's time for Chauncey. It should be noted that during Hidden Mansion, we can get an extra achievement for getting a gold frame on Chauncey, as well as the other main area bosses. Which in order to get a gold frame, you need to defeat the boss without Luigi going below 90 HP. Chauncey overall is really not that bad, but my biggest advice is to try your best to 2-cycle him, and during the first cycle, try not to get him to 50 HP or under, because that will trigger his enraged state and he will do an extra horse attack, which can be difficult to avoid. But after getting horsed by Chauncey, we get him with more than 90 HP and get the Golden Child achievement and acquire the heart key in less than 7 minutes and get the Mario is Missing with 46 seconds to spare. So now that we're done with the normal mansion and the Area 1 speedrun, it is time to begin our second playthrough by playing through the Hidden Mansion. And this mansion right here is mainly the reason as to why you must play this game using the PAL version if you want to master this game with RetroAchievements. The Hidden Mansion works the same as the normal mansion with the same progressions, same bosses, same everything. However, there are 4 main differences that make the Hidden Mansion a rise in difficulty. Number 1, the entire mansion is now flipped. Number 2, every room has different ghost spawns. For example, the parlor in normal mansion has 3 golden ghosts, but in Hidden Mansion, the parlor has a golden ghost, a purple puncher, and a blue twirler, which makes encounters in certain rooms infinitely more difficult. Number 3, your Poltergust is more powerful, meaning that you can suck up ghosts faster as a compensation for the tougher encounters, even though that is not going to matter in some cases. And finally, number 4, the Hidden Mansion is the only way to get the best ending in the game, since the money requirement was raised in the PAL version from 100 million G to 150 million G. And what I find fascinating about all of this is that the 3DS remake does utilize some aspects from the PAL Hidden Mansion by removing features like the Mirror Mansion and the more powerful Poltergust, but also adding some features like ghosts and boos having more health, a platinum frame for the boss ghosts, Mario's items and Speedy spirits being in different locations, and a brand new S rank for the final mansion at the end of the game, which gives the 3DS some worth in my opinion. Now, I don't say that since that was the first time I ever experienced Luigi's Mansion, but I may just a bit biased on this one. And since we already got the Area 1 speedrun achievement, we can just move on along and begin our second run of the game. For this second run, we will be getting the remaining 19 achievements, which most of them involve getting money related items like all the rubies, sapphire and emeralds, all the silver diamonds, and all of the big pearls. But the achievement that has me the most terrified when it comes to this run is the achievement Bricked Up, where you need to get every single gold bar in either the normal mansion, which has 61, or the Hidden Mansion, which has 76. What makes this achievement hard is the randomness factor about the money drops, because sometimes money will not pop up from objects when you inspect them, causing you to go 2 rooms away so that we can actually reset the room and play the game of chance with this Boston building, hoping to get a cheese block. Not to mention that there is this possibility that you missed a gold bar somewhere, causing you to run around in circles looking for that damn 76th gold bar. Thankfully for me, and for you, a user by the name of I Don't Want This shared a spreadsheet detailing the locations of every currency of the game with some guidelines telling you how much money you should have before reaching a specific room, or how much stuff of every currency you must have by the end of every single area. Huge shout out to him, because without this spreadsheet, I would have probably never mastered this game as fast as I did, both in my first time and for this mastery run. So, with our spreadsheet in a separate monitor and 19 achievements left to master this game, let's do this. So, remember when during the speedrun I got Chauncey and the Chauncey achievement no problem? You know, on my first try? Well, I guess the game wanted to give me a taste of the horrendous bullshit that the Hidden Mansion has in store for me. Because trying to get the gold frame on Chauncey took me an embarrassingly half an hour to reclaim this stupid baby with a gold frame. But why, you may ask? Why did I waste 30 minutes just to get a gold frame of a dead baby? That sounded better on my head. Because, my dear viewer, there is an achievement where you need to get a gold frame on all 23 portrait ghosts, which involve dealing 90 damage or more to the normal ghosts and defeating the major bosses without going below 90 HP. And yes, I could have resumed my speedrun file, But there was this little problem with that plan. I wanted to get all the speedy spirits and golden mice in area 1 so that I can avoid revisiting rooms during the blackout section, because the blackout is one of the worst parts about the hidden mansion, and honestly any playthrough of Luigi's Mansion overall. Now yes, for this run we have to collect as much money as possible so that we can reach 150 million G and get our ultimate mansion. But also, we want to capture every speedy spirit and golden mice, because in Hidden Mansion, every time you capture these money ghosts, you will not only get gold bars, which are required for an achievement, but they will also drop silver diamonds, which they are a whopping 30 of them that we must claim for yet another achievement. And that's where our knight in shining armor pierces the heavens and gives us guidance on our Hidden Mansion quest, our good old friend, Toad. As mentioned before, you can save with Toad at any point during the game. And when it comes to getting achievements that require perfection, let's just say that some resets will eventually happen. And trust me when I say this, you want to make sure you abuse the save system, because it is going to save you a lot of trips to the mental hospital. And basically, this is my biggest advice if you want to tackle the PAL's Hidden Mansion or even try to master this game overall. Save often with Toad. Now yes, you can also save every time you finish an area or capture a boo, but even still, I do recommend you never go into the unknown unprepared, especially when, like I said, the Hidden Mansion has different ghost spawns in every non-portrait ghost room, which can lead to some stupid and straight up unfair fights. But we'll get to those instances later. Oh, trust me, we will. But besides the travesty that was the Chauncey fight in Area 1, overall, Area 1 was not so difficult and managed to clear it while getting all the money ghosts and all the gold bars and a gold frame on Neville, Lydia, and Chauncey. Thank God. Moving on to Area 2, the first couple of rooms were not that bad, although the storage room did start to remind me of the one aspect I despise about this game. I know that this game established the scaredy cat aspect of Luigi, but that aspect can and will be your downfall in the Hidden Mansion. Every time a ghost appears close to Luigi, he will get stunned for a couple of seconds, and during this animation, you cannot move or defend yourself from upcoming danger. And in most rooms of the Hidden Mansion, because you're dealing with more annoying ghosts like the blue twirlers or these motherfucking purple punchers, it can lead to a lot of cheap hits and a lot of cheap deaths if you enter a new room with low health, which, by the way, spawns less frequently when you need it the most, and in the case that it spawns, it's most of the times the small hearts that'll heal you only by 10 HP, which is not that good because ghosts deal double damage. However, once we clear out the ghosts and free the boos once again and have a false sense of security after witnessing the boo in the parlor show up with 150 HP, Jesus Christ, we then go to the mirror room after capturing 5 boos and prepare to deal with this game's amazing jank. Oh my god. Come on. Motherfucker. Oh man, I love it when you get the other two but you don't vacuum them. Man, this game is so well programmed. And once we clear it out, we collect our lifesaver for Hidden Mansion, the elemental metals. And that's because any element can stun lock and defeat any normal ghost in the game. The only exception being the elemental variants where you need a specific element. So after grabbing fire and removing the butler from the mansion, we move on to the hidden room to attempt to claim the gold bars from these cups. And this is another problem I have about this game, or to be more specific, the bricked up achievements or the randomness factor when it comes to getting the gold bars. So during this playthrough, you may have noticed that when I aim for a gold bar and it doesn't show up, I just go 2 rooms away from where I was and then go back. And that is because when you are 2 rooms apart from a room we were just exploring, the room drops will reset, meaning that if there's a light or a drawer that contains money but you just got nothing, or a poison mushroom or a heart, what you can do is go past 2 doors and then return to the room just to give it another go, which is RNG, and I hate it, and it's stupid. And this applies to both money and health, since some places that give you guaranteed hearts, like Chauncey's room, might not show up. And because I'm playing using a spreadsheet while trying to get every single gold bar to make my life easier, I decided to reset the room until I get the gold bar before moving on to the next room and also the rest of the game, which, again, is a complete lifesaver. So once we get all gold bars, we defeat Melody after hearing her love for Mario 3 once again, and then we move on to the dining room and kitchen. So before facing Mr. Lux, I decided to clear out the kitchen, mainly just to get the money ghosts out of the way, and also save via Boo. And in the kitchen, we also have our second 20% gold mouse, where if it doesn't appear, we just need to exit and re-enter the room for another shot. Something that we experienced back in the halls after the hard door, and something we will suffer by the end of the game. That said, the kitchen is another room where we can get cheap shotted by the game's... jank? This game sucks. This game sucks. This game sucks. Fuck off, all of you, you sacks of shit ghosts. I fucking hate pink punchers with a fucking burning passion. Suck my ass. But after acquiring the water medal and watering the plants that we can find in Area 1, we take a swing at Mr. Lux. Mr. Lux is our first portrait ghost that can be complicated to capture in one cycle or deal 90 HP in one cycle. And that's mainly due to the point of how you get detached from a ghost while you capture it. So, the way you get detached from a ghost is something that, to this day, I have no idea how it works. But from what I've read, it has to do with Luigi himself. If Luigi starts to get semi-carried by the ghost, even if you're dealing damage to it, eventually the ghost will break free and go back to their pattern, so to speak. However, when it comes to bigger ghosts like Lux, Biff, Weston, and even the blue twirlers in the normal mansion, they have an opportunity to break free from you. Now, of course, Chauncey and Bogmire also do this, but even then, with a specific exploit that speedrunners do, it is actually possible to one-cycle them. The only exceptions being Boolossus and King Boo because of very obvious reasons. So if anyone knows how the tether system actually works, let me know in the comments because I'm actually very interested to know how to perfect this technique. But after a failed attempt, we go once again and capture Mr. Lux on our second attempt. We then collect the remaining boos, including the boos from the ballroom and storage room that I didn't forget whatsoever, and manage to capture Spooky the dog on our first go. And we also make sure to water this bud on the soil, so it's going to be very important for the remainder of the game. Also an achievement, but that's a given. But after some final preparations, we head into the graveyard, finish off the Boner Gang, and begin our fight with Bogmire. Now on its own, Bogmire is by far the easiest area boss in the game, no questions. However, to give him more of a challenging approach, we have a boss challenge that asks us to capture Bogmire in one cycle. And this achievement can be annoying for two reasons, those being luck and positioning. So remember when I said that if you don't stand your ground, bosses can drag you, eventually breaking your tether? Well, it all comes down to this, where the best way to one-cycle Bogmire is to try your best to stand your ground as you suck the life out of the shadow. However, like I said earlier, I have no idea how this works. So at the end of the day, I basically tried my best to drain his health as quickly as possible before the tether breaks. And after around 20 minutes of failing and refighting the Boner Gang, because yes, once you enter the graveyard, you cannot leave, yes! Oh man, that was awesome. No 1 HP for you, Buster. Oh man, that was awesome. Okay. Man, that was so quick. Holy crap, I couldn't process it. Oh man, that was awesome. We finally one-cycle Bogmire, giving us the Speedrun Ready and Graveyard Gauntlet achievements for one-cycling and defeating Bogmire without going below 90 HP, respectively. I forgot the ruby. Oh my god, I forgot the fucking ruby. Oh my god, okay. Only to forget a very important drop back in the graveyard. Beginning with Area 3, before we go to the club key, we make sure we go into the boneyard again and water the plant once again to advance our progress for an achievement but also a beefy reward. And also grab the ruby in the graveyard. And as we clear the courtyard, we rediscover where our brother is located and skip Biff Atlas for now. And we go and deal with all rooms that require us to use water, like the bathroom and the burning door leading into the tea room. Why do I have sudden murderous intentions all of a sudden? And as a bonus, we get the 20% mouse on the hallway on our first try. But going back to Biff Atlas, this is the first real boss that gives me trouble getting a gold frame on him. Hell, for a long time, he was the only boss ghost where I wasn't able to get the platinum frame in the 3DS remake. And the reason as to why I find Biff so hard is mainly due to two aspects. One is the dragging problem that I mentioned with Lux and Bogmire. And second, the room itself is your worst enemy, as getting stuck in the dump weight and other stuff can break your tether from Biff very easily. Oh god. Okay. Oh my god, okay. See, I knew it. I knew that was gonna happen, so that's why I saved. Ooh. 55? I hate this guy so much. But after a couple of failed attempts, we managed to drain 91% of his health, giving us not only the big pearl, but as well the gold frame. You know what? I'll take it, because I got the big pearl. And as a bonus, we open his chest and we collect our 15th silver diamond and get the shiny seeker achievement by claiming half of the silver diamonds in the hidden mansion. So after claiming our achievement, we save the game and prepare for the tea room. So if you thought that this mode hasn't been that bad so far, then boy, you are going to fucking hate Area 3, which is filled to the brink with unfair and straight up bullshit enemy placements that makes the shotgunners from Tomb Raider 2 not that terrible compared to this atrocious block of architecture. Especially considering the fact that for the more annoying rooms, you have little space to work with, which will become infuriating in some rooms of Area 4, like the pipe room and even the cellar. That said, the tea room consists of two waves. The first wave consists of one of every ghost with the exception of Shy Guys, Trash Can, and Ceiling Surprises. However, as a bonus, the purple punchers are their elemental variants, meaning that we must enter the room with fire. And the second wave consists of Shy Guys and elemental purple punchers once again. And to add another slap in the face, we also have 4 dishes that will target Luigi, and as the biggest flick in the nuts, there is also 2 golden mice. One of them where you need to scan a block of cheese, and another one being a 20% encounter. I'll be honest, the 20% encounter is not the biggest problem, but the cheese one is the biggest nuisance. That said, my biggest advice is to get rid of all ghosts in wave 1 with the exception of the grabber ghost, since he is the slowest moving ghost out of the bunch. Also, as long as you don't move, ghosts tend to not spawn back in. So take the opportunity to scan the cheese and claiming your gold bars and silver diamond. However, after getting both mice, I decided to GTFO and save the game, only to return and find out that the room also resets the ghosts, meaning that I have to redo wave 1. And there we go. This game sucks. Thank God I saved, good lord. I knew it! I knew it! I fucking knew it! Piss off, game. Piss off. Oh my god, come on! This game is so cheap. This game sucks. Suck my piece of shit. What the fuck is a hitbox? Oh, kiss my fucking ass, you piece of shit video game. Garbage. Garbage. What a garbage room. What a garbage room. Absolute trash. Absolute garbage game design. Fuck off. And after dealing with these games' wonderful mechanics, we acquire the ice key and capture Miss Petunia and Nana no problem. And also get all the pearls from Miss Petunia, which I've never been able to do in a very long time. And after clearing out the second floor by getting all gold bars, we move on to the final room, the Astral Room, where once again we have to deal with this game's awful jank and capture detection. Can you please grab the damn ghosts? Luigi, come on, dude. Fucking cooperate. Thank you. God fucking damn it. And once we blow up the moon for the second time and collect Mario's star, we head over to the projector room and clear out this abomination of a room. This game sucks. This game fucking sucks. Oh, kiss my ass, you son of a bitch. Why are there so many? But also, it's worth mentioning that this is the first room where we can get the Mr. Heartthrob achievement, which you can get by sucking up 5 ghosts at the same time during Hidden Mansion, since at the end, 5 rubber ghosts will appear at the same time. But just like the previous achievement, we can also get this one during Bangor's fight, or even some rooms during the blackout. Although, just watch. You know what I wish? I wish I had the Stroll Bowl from Dark Moon, because man, that thing would be a lifesaver. Fuck all of you. Yeah, I was this close to getting it, but the game said fuck you. But once we clear the projector room and claim another one of Mario's dropped items, we only have 2 more portrait ghosts, Slim Bankshot, and the twins, Henry and Orville. Which, fun fact, in the 3DS version of the Hidden Mansion, beating Slim is actually required to continue on with the game, while the twins became an optional fight. I don't know why they changed it, but like I said at the beginning, the 3DS Mansion does change some aspects about the game, making it a bit more randomized, which is honestly pretty fun. So as for Slim, we do have a speedy spirit that only appears when Slim is in the room. So make sure you capture the money ghost before fighting Slim. And after some attempts trying to catch this billiards professional, some being very hurtful. Oh! Nice. Very, very nice. Just what I wanted. Freaking 13. At least it's not 11. I'll say that right now. At least it's not freaking 11. I had to open my mouth. I had to open my mouth. Oh my god, are you kidding me? 11 HP? Are you fucking serious? We collect our rewards and move over to the twins. The twins, Henry and Orville, are pretty infamous when it comes to retro achievements because there is an achievement that holds the title in this series as the absolute worst achievement I've ever gotten. And keep in mind, this is only the second game in this series, which means that yes, we will encounter other achievements that are on par or even worse than this. The achievement Double Grounded requires you to capture both Henry and Orville at the same time, meaning that you somehow must start capturing one while trying to get the second twin in your tether. And this can be either incredibly easy or frustratingly hard. And this right here is the achievement that broke me. Similar to Sunset Vista from Crash 1, this achievement managed to wake up the beast inside me and made me go on a rage-inducing coma. And just like the Sunset Vista box gem, this achievement took me a whopping 40 fucking minutes. But unlike Sunset Vista, where my mistake was greed and the game screwing with me for some times, which was in some cases pretty funny, in this case, to get this achievement, we have to rely on our good old friend RNG. And what's even crazy is that a lot of users don't even consider this as the hardest achievement. Most people find the 150 Boo to be harder. And even though I did agree with that during my original mastery, this one just decided to show its ugly face and just give me a bad time. So bad, in fact, that after 15 minutes of trial and error, I just shut off and didn't utter a single word for the remainder of the session. I was fucking done. I was so frustrated with this achievement that I just did not want to talk whatsoever. And let's just say that when I get angry, I get very angry. Now, I guess I should bring this up because some people might see it in a different way. Let me put it this way. I'm up for hard achievements. I really am. Some achievements that I've gotten in this website fill me with so much satisfaction once I pull them off. Like escaping Chozodia in Metroid Zero Mission's hard mode before the timer reaches a minute and 55 seconds, which is really fucking strict. Or the many damageless achievements that have eternally scarred me for life. And usually, when an achievement requires you to do something that seems impossible or in the worst cases unfair, I try my best to not blame the achievement developers, but the game for not being properly programmed. That said, if an achievement does include some requirements that rely on pure luck or have an almost impossible or unfair requirement, which I will bring up in future videos, that's when I cross the line and I just say that it's not the game's fault, but the achievement's fault. The perfect example for the latter of this situation is with The Incredibles Rise of the Underminer for PS2. Now this won't take me long, but long story short, that game has a challenge achievements for beating every main level using a cheat code that makes enemies hit harder and take more damage to defeat, unless you play as Frozen because Frozen is fucking broken. However, you also need to make sure that both Bob and Lucius are not upgraded. And if the super you are controlling gets knocked out, you lose the challenge and have to retry again. However, this game also has bonus levels which have the same challenge achievements. But in a sick twist of sadism, if your AI partner gets knocked out during the levels, you will lose the challenge and have to start all over again, which was not a thing during the main story levels. And as an insult to injury, you may think, oh, but the description may do something different. No, the description for both achievements is the exact same. This is so badly designed that to this day, I still haven't been able to master this game on my personal account just because of this garbage change. And the fact that this hasn't been fixed is just stupid. Now yes, the developer of this set has been, for lack of a better word, deleted, which explains why the name is crossed out. But if the first Incredibles game was demoted for having achievements that you may break because of cheats, which funny enough happened when the game went to Achievement of the Week, then I don't see why someone can at the very least make it so that the bonus level challenges follow the same logic as the main campaign levels. However, with that tangent, I want to emphasize that this isn't the achievement developer's fault. Rather, the game for not being well made to deal with multiple enemies, especially considering that Luigi has a sort of auto-lock when it comes to certain aspects of the game, or specific times when you want to capture something. So, after 40 minutes of attempts after attempts after attempts, here's how I finally managed to pull it off. There is some comments basically mentioning a very easy strategy where you basically have to abuse Luigi's invincibility frames. Basically what I do is I go on the ladder on the crib and then I wait for Henry to run me over. Then what I do is wait for Orville to get near me so I can start sucking him up and begin the capture process. However, while in the iframes, I try my best to have Henry run me over as I capture Orville so that I can actually get rid of the car and grab Henry on the tether as well, capturing both twins at the same time. This strategy requires a lot of RNG and good positioning, and also make sure that Orville doesn't go all over the place, causing you to not catch Henry. In fact, there is a video embedded on the comments of this achievement where basically you are required to essentially get rid of the vehicles at the same time, which I have tried it for a while and it feels almost impossible because you need pure luck to actually pull this off. But after some failed attempts and a lot of frustration, I finally fucking did it. After getting this achievement, I just wanted to end the session right there. I was so furious and frustrated with the game that any more time spent getting these stupid kits was going to put me in a mental hospital. But considering that I only had to deal with the Safari Room and Boolossus, I decided to deliver Mario's items to Madame Clairvoya and finish off Area 3. The Safari Room was honestly not that hard compared to the Tea Room, although the final wave can be... But once we clear out the final room of Area 3, we go and get water so we can water all of the plants in the balcony, which include gold bars and our final emerald, and save after getting all the loot so we can go and face Boolossus if we fail getting the gold frame. Unlike Chauncey and Bogmire, Boolossus is the same fight as the normal mansion, with one exception. So in an interesting twist, you fight Boolossus while riding the Poltergust 3000 like a car, which kinda makes sense considering that in Mario Kart DS, Luigi's default car is the Poltergust 4000. Continuity, baby, I love it. That said, because you ride the Poltergust, you are more slippery and harder to move in position, making this fight a bit more difficult. However, a failed attempt later, we restart the fight and perform an incredible shot. We capture Boolossus and collect the diamond key, as well as Afraid of Unicorns for defeating Boolossus without going below 90 HP, finishing Area 3. Also, I want to apologize for the use of my extreme vocabulary during the VODs, and I promise that when I get to games that have hard achievements that are on par or even harder than the Twins one, I want to make sure to not ruin the mood and make you guys feel bad or just straight up uncomfortable in some cases with some words that I say. I want you guys to enjoy my suffering, and I'll find ways to release my anger in less explosive ways. And I'll try to be a bit more chill when it comes to my anger. So, starting off Session 3 and moving up to Area 4, it's time we go to the Boneyard one last time to water the flower and not only get some gold bars as a reward, but also claim our first gold diamond, as well as Mr. Green Thumb for taking care of your plants. Also, before you head into the diamond key, make sure you go to the breaker room and get the Speedy Spirit because it will not be there during the blackout section. And speaking of the blackout, it is now time to tackle my least favorite part of the game. However, this time we actually have to run around the mansion because during the blackout, there are 3 Speedy Spirits that are exclusive to this section. But also, if you forgot to capture a Speedy Spirit or Golden Mouse, now's the time to do so. But like I said earlier, the Speedy Spirit in the Billiards room and the Breaker room will despawn. However, the blackout speedy spirits are not so terrible to get, and thankfully, all three of them are relatively close to each other. The first speedy spirit will be located in the conservatory, living his dreams as a sitting place for Melody. The next one is located in the hidden room, and this is where I will give you the obvious hint of getting rid of every ghost in a room, especially if the room in question is the one that has a speedy spirit. And I say this because during the blackout, when you defeat every ghost in a room, the room will not light up after capturing all ghosts. So try not to complicate yourself and try to chance it, especially considering that you cannot save during the blackout. But after claiming our second speedy spirit, we move back to Chauncey's room and get our third and final speedy spirit and claim the stealthy achievement. And once we get all of our money ghosts, we go to the parlor and attempt to capture 5 ghosts at the same time. Only to fail badly because this game works like a dream and is filled with a lot of jank. So instead, we move on to capture Uncle Grimly and restore power to the mansion once again, and then get a funny encounter in the cellar. Oh! Oh my god. That would have been so... I would have been so pissed if I didn't get it. If I hadn't had the achievement yet, but... 1 HP! Back on the 3rd floor, we successfully capture the Clockwork Soldiers and get access to the rooftop, where we have to deal with my mortal nemesis. Not to mention, I don't want to deal with their bullcrap for what happened in the goddamn tea room. I knew it. I knew it! What am I doing? What the hell am I doing? Which leads into a nice little game of chance. You see, so far we've gotten every speedy spirit and golden mice throughout the mansion except for one of each. And both happen to be in what is for many people one of the most annoying rooms in the game, the sealed room. A room that you can only access by taking a fall in the rooftop, and to get out, you need to warp to the foyer using the mirror, meaning that if you want to go back into the room again, you have to do an almost 2-minute trek throughout the entire mansion. And you know, the speedy spirit is not that bad. You just need to inspect this chest and voila, we now have captured our final speedy spirit. However, you may notice that I just warped back to the foyer without getting the mouse. And that is because the final golden mouse is a 20 goddamn % chance mouse, meaning that every time you take the fall into the sealed room, there is a 1 in 5 chance that this P-Rat will appear. So imagine my surprise and shock when I saw that after falling every time to this God-forsaken room, the mouse just didn't spawn. It was so bad that I literally decided to clear out the rest of the mansion just to not die of boredom and go insane.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
But after clearing out both the top and bottom, which includes one of the worst rooms in the mansion, oh my god, no. Don't. I'm dead. I'm fucking dead. They can hit you? That is some bullshit right there. That is some bullcrap. Oh my god, dude, this room sucks. Dude, I did not know the ice ghost can freeze you. that never happened to me before. We deal with Sir Weston's annoying arena. Well, there you go. And there you go. That's our first fail. Nice. Dude, man, this guy's this guy's more annoying than Biff. Okay, I got the big pearl. Nice. And after a lot of attempts, we claim the key to Van Gore, and we go back to the sealed room loop after getting a boo that I skipped by accident. Yeah, because I don't know where I'm missing a boo. Because I know for a fact there's not a boo in the sealed room. Oh my god, there's a boo in here. And keep in mind that every time you don't get the mouse, it takes around 2 minutes to get back to the sealed room from the foyer. But after what it felt like an eternity, which honestly I think it might take me longer than the Bogmire achievement, it finally showed up. 20% my fucking ass. So, after finally getting this gold rat and going back to the foyer one last time to save, because I am not fighting these pink annoying bastards without dealing with this game's jank and hope to God not to have to redo this stupid game of luck again, we head into the sitting room and guest rooms to deal with the final optional ghost and get some more gold bars and jewels. And after capturing Sue P, we also get our final silver diamond and get Hide and Squeak for collecting all silver diamonds in the hidden mansion. And once we clear up everything, we go into the artist studio and confront Vincent Van Gore one last time. And this is the place where I'll get the Mr. Heartthrob achievement, where you need to capture 5 ghosts at the same time. The reason as to why I chose Van Gore is because you have multiple opportunities to get this achievement, plus the ghosts when they spawn, they're very close to each other, so you can have a very easy way of doing so. Damn it. There's always one. Pff, I got one? Oh my god. So stupid. So stupid. Motherfucker. Dude, how? Why is he not getting all of them? That's so stupid. But after a quick reset, we go again, and ironically, we get the achievement with the help of my least favorite ghost in this game. Gotcha, you motherfuckers. There we go. Mr. Heartthrob. And once we get rid of the remaining ghosts and deal with this game's jank one last time... I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I fucking knew it. So stupid. So fucking stupid. And I got one again. You know, I'll say right now, after playing this game, I would rather have the stroll bulb mechanic instead of this. Because this is just dumb. And wow, look at that. I got it again. Can you, like, flash the light, Luigi? We captured Van Gore and get It's Lit for turning on the lights on all rooms of the mansion, and Luigi's Art Emporium for getting all 19 big pearls. But we're still not done, because we also have our 50th and final boo. And once we capture it, we get our second gold diamond and get boo. You gonna call? And once we get the spade key and almost have a heart attack after realizing I missed a gold bar somewhere. Yes, it is. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank every god in existence. Oh my god. Okay. Oh. Oh my god. Dude, I almost had a heart attack. Oh my god. Okay. We access the secret altar and collect our final gold bar, as well as the final sapphire, which will give us hidden riches for collecting either all 30 sapphire, emeralds, and rubies in the normal mansion, or the 15 that are available on hidden mansion. Thank god, because if I had to do a third playthrough, I would have probably gone insane. And after saving the game for the last time, we head into the altar once again and confront King Boo in this epic finale. Just like Boolossus, King Boo doesn't have any changes between mansions. The only difference is that the bombs that Bowser throws sometimes explode quicker. So pay attention to the red flashes. And take your time and always keep moving. Oh my god, okay. Yeah, I got a little cocky there. Luigi is not amused. Also, why are you looking at the pillar, Luigi? I will say the scariest attack of Bowser is the jump attack. Oh, almost 200 in one go. Yeah, wiggle the tail. Whoa. Wow, that was pretty good. Okay, now he's gonna have his head upside down. Yeah. Okay, I don't want to be too far away. Otherwise, he will do the jump attack. Oh, yeah. See right there, they all explode prematurely. Crap. Oh god, I need to get out of here. Go, where'd you go? Okay, this should be it. No! He ran away! No! 40 HP, are you serious? Oh no. Alright. Go, 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 go. Okay. No. Don't be greedy. Or don't chance it. That's like the best advice I can give you. Don't chance it. If you can't get the bomb, then don't bother. Oh, premature explosion. Okay. Dude! Oh my god, I thought I was gonna fail. Get in the vacuum, you son of a bitch! Yes! Nah, we did it. Oh. Corner of the crown and double crown. Nice. So the first one was to get the gold rank, and the second is to beat Hidden Mansion. So the king has been beaten once again, and we return with our brother to the lab. And as we go into the final stats, we once again get spoiled by receiving the achievements, our collector for getting a gold frame on all Poltergust, bricked up for beating the game after collecting old gold bars in either the normal or hidden mansion, and finally, the real mansion for collecting more than 150 million gold and obtaining an A rank, giving us a full mastery in Luigi's Mansion for the Nintendo GameCube. Alright, so here we are back on the grid, and once again we begin with a difficulty. Now, because we have to do at least one hidden mansion room, I'll honestly give the set an 8 out of 10 because of the bullshit and cheap enemy placement of certain rooms like the tea room, the pipe room, and even the sealed room. Not to mention that this mode shows a little more jank than normal, and yeah, the purple punchers basically make this run more annoying because, man, I thought that they were just okay, but Hidden Mansion shows their their true colors, and it is just so annoying. Probably one of the worst enemies in this game. In probably any Luigi's Mansion game, now that I say that out loud. And as for fun, I'll give this one a 7. I was originally going to give it a 6 or even a 5 because of the Hidden Mansion run, but then I thought about it and said, you know what? I should judge the fun based on the variety of achievements as well as my enjoyment of the set and just round it up. Hence the 7 out of 10. And yeah, basically, when it comes to fun and the variety of achievements, or more specifically, the miscellaneous achievements, I'm going to be a bit more hard when it comes to the variety of achievement, because if there's sets that lack miscellaneous achievements, it's going to lose some points for me. And to the surprise of absolutely no one, the title for the hardest achievement will go to Double Grounded for capturing the twins at the same time. Fuck that achievement. One of the worst achievements I've gotten so far in this series. Ugh, man, that Hidden Mansion run completely destroyed me. And you know what? I loved it. Even though I was frustrated throughout some aspects about this game, I still give the PAL's Hidden Mansion a recommendation, especially if you think the normal mansion is just too easy. I mean, hell, I would even recommend the 3DS Hidden Mansion, since I would say that version is, in some regards, even harder than the original GameCube version. But overall, compared to Crash 1, this was overall a better set in every way. A huge shout out to Fridge and Darky for making this set, and after experiencing what I would say is my first hard set, this one is a pretty good one. That said, I think I'm gonna take a break and go on a more simple set next time, because my god, I don't think I can withstand another hard set, like my god. And keep in mind, I'm gonna do Crash 3 eventually, so I am not looking forward to that one even one bit. Oh boy, what a mess. I will admit that session 2 was not my best behaving recording wise, but like I said earlier, I'll try to liberate my anger in more creative ways than don't involve turning into a sailor mouth. And yes, for the next mastery, we'll do a shorter game that doesn't have a balls to the walls hard set. In fact, it's already done, because the day I mastered Luigi's Mansion, I mastered another game on the same day, which is, as of now, being worked on when it comes to the script. And I did spoil it during session 3, but the game after the next video, which would be episode 4, is going to be Crash Bandicoot 2. And to jump the gun, Episode 8, which is the last episode when it comes to the games that I already did on the channel, will be Crash 3, which means that the Platinum Relic grind will be inevitable, and yeah, my thumbs already hurt just thinking about it. But I don't have to worry about that yet, so I'll put it in the back burner for now, and try to delay the inevitable, even though it will happen. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this new episode of RetroAchievement Masteries. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, and if you want to see more RetroAchievement content, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell. And also don't forget to check my Wolf Archives channel if you want to see the full run of Luigi's Mansion, plus other RetroAchievement sets that I will do in the future. And of course, if you have a set that you would like to see me master, let me know in the comments below. But like I said, make sure it's nothing Tomb Raider, because I'm gonna take a break from Tomb Raider for the remainder of this year. And as a final note before we end, I did mention this in the Task Wanted playthrough, but if I have a RetroAchievements video ready to go and I'm in the middle of a playthrough, I will put the playthrough on hold and post the new RetroAchievements video. I want to do this because I love doing these videos. I had so much fun editing the Crash video, and yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of fun editing this video and also creating other videos and trying to think of funny jokes, even though I'm not funny. And who knows? I will even put, like, maybe even more if I don't get lazy with script writing. You know, that would be fantastic. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Thank you all for watching this mastery. My name is Jonathan Wolf, and I will see you all in my next mastery. Take it easy, everyone.